happened almost a year ago now. It was on the 7th of May last year. I was with my friend Vanessa Smith, and we'd been to see a concert at the Fairfield Halls in Croydon. And it was around 9:35 in the evening. The show had just finished. We were standing in the foyer, and we decided to book a Uber taxi to take us back to my house. And even though I'm blind, every iPhone has a program on it called VoiceOver, which reads the screen. When you touch it with your touch gestures, it talks. So I've found the Uber app very accessible because VoiceOver will tell you how far away the nearest car is, and when you book a Uber, like I did on that day, it gives you the driver's name and the license plate number of their car, and you get options to either call the driver or message the driver as well.
So it's not about cost, it's about accessibility?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Just want to understand. So you've booked the cab, it's however many minutes away, and whoever's the driver, and this is the registration of the car. Take me from there.
So I booked the taxi, and I decided to call the driver to let him know that I had Brody travelling with me, because I've had several times where I've not told a driver that I've had Brody with me, and they've just picked me up. Well, no, they've not picked me up. They've arrived, and they've cancelled on the spot. And it's just so humiliating and just so frustrating, really.
So I'm wondering, first of all, what type of vehicle they have. If it is a VIP vehicle, let us say, chauffeur-driven type thing, might they have a point, do you think?
Well, not really, because it's illegal. Again, it's illegal to refuse an assistance or working dog.
And in terms of the reasons they've given you, what have they said?
This driver in particular, when I told him I had Brody travelling with me, the first thing he said was, I don't take pets in my car. Even though I clearly stated he was a guide dog. And so I then said to him, he's not a pet, he's a working dog, he's my eyes. And he still carried on, and he said, I don't take dogs in my car.
I don't take dogs in my car. When it went through due process, what did his story become?
You mean when we were in court?
Yes.
He said he had...
I'm imagining that he didn't stand there and say, I don't take dogs in my car.
He said that he had an allergy. But he had no medical exemptions from doctors or anything to say that he couldn't take Brody in his car. He had no medical exemptions. And
therefore the judge ruled against him?
Yes, he did.
And there are 4 outstanding cases?
Yes, there are, that's correct.
Why are you doing this? I mean, I'm very happy. Let me first of all say this, because sometimes I ask questions of people. I think I'm very happy on behalf of all sorts of people that you are. But why are you doing this?
I'm doing it to raise awareness, because this shouldn't be happening. And I'm doing it to help people like myself who perhaps don't have the confidence to, get out there, and who are perhaps being refused by Uber drivers and other private hire vehicles. And just to give them the confidence to say, this shouldn't be happening. You have the right to sort this out, and you have the right to be able to travel wherever you want.
How many times has it happened to you?
I've been refused by 9 Uber drivers in total.
And have you made any kind of approach to Uber as a firm, the people upstairs?
Yes, I have. After every single refusal, I emailed Uber and they spoke to me, but it's just not enough. I'm not seeing a change. And to be honest, I don't want to use them again. It's really put me off using them. I don't feel comfortable using them anymore.
Yeah, but you've started, now you've got to finish, haven't you? This is a project now, isn't it? I mean, surely you've got to let everybody know this is how to behave, this is what the rules are, and this is what these people are doing, or are you just fed up of it now?
I want to keep going because this is what I want to do. I want to make people aware.
In terms of the top brass, are they saying to you, we have told everybody what the rules are? Or is there a sense that the people who are driving the car, because they're handing out an awful lot of licenses every week, and everybody's interested in the number of licenses that are being handed out. And I imagine everybody's also interested in whether or not the people who are receiving these licenses know what the rules are.
Yes, Uber do say that when each driver does sign up, it does state in their terms and conditions that they have to take an assistance dog in their taxi unless they have a medical exemption. So it's clearly stated to them.
Uber don't talk to me like you are, Jade, but they've sent us a statement. Do you mind if I read it to you?
Sure.
We would like to offer our sincere apologies to Jade. At Uber, we strive to offer the best experience possible, so we're hugely sorry that we've fallen short. Whilst the drivers on the Uber platform are self-employed, we remind them of their legal obligation to take service animals before they can start driving. Any Uber partner driver who doesn't accept service animals not only risks having their Uber partnership revoked, but also risks having their private hire license taken away. What has the punishment been?
This driver in question, he had to pay a fine of £1,546.
Yeah, okay. So, and did he sound to you like somebody who would now change their ways?
To be honest, no. He didn't sound very sorry about what he'd done in...
Well, yeah, if you got to pay £4 a week or something like that, you can brave it out, can't you? And I know, unless Uber say to all their drivers, listen, this is the directive, unless you do that, then you're not going to be working for us, then it may well take a little longer to change.
Because there is a service that they have just launched in London, which is Uber Assist, which is great when it works because, there's only 100 of these drivers on.
What is it supposed to do?
They're all especially trained with helping people with guide dogs, helping people with wheelchairs, and they're all especially trained. So if you're in the centre of London, it's great because you can get an Uber Assist pretty much all the time. But where I live, where I'm not so near the centre, you can't always get these Uber Assists. So it's really frustrating.
You can get it home, but you can't get it into town.
Yeah.
Listen, I wish you the best of luck. I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. And when you're getting around generally, is it always by cab? Have you got, or how challenging is it as a person who's visually impaired? How easy, challenging, difficult is it to get around?
Well, I use the Underground a lot. I'm a frequent user of the Underground, but it's so difficult because some guide dogs can be trained to use the escalators, some, like Brody, aren't. And the amount of times I've been to a station and they won't stop the escalator because it's peak hours or something like that, I'm going to have to find an alternative route. And it's not as simple for me. I can't just jump on a train and jump off at the next station. I have to book assistance at each station. Sometimes the assistants won't turn up. It's not easy.
Listen, thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best of luck, and I appreciate your contribution very, very much. Jade Smith there, a young lady going about her business, visually impaired, guide dog not allowed on Uber cars, so she's taking it further. With assistance, of course, and we can talk now to Rob Harris, who's engagement manager for the charity Guide Dogs in London. Rob, thanks for your time.
Alrighty.
So, anybody listening to this will think this is a ludicrous thing to be doing an hour of radio on. If you have a problem with your eyesight and you've got a guide dog and you call a cab, of course the dog should be allowed in there. Why are we even having this conversation, Rob?
Yeah, quite. Very good question. We've been working with Transport for London now for over a year in trying to get the awareness raised of the problem. As a result, they decided to run a campaign about assistance dogs in taxi and private hire vehicles and the law surrounding it in order to raise education, because we found that when we were getting these denials from our guide dog owners, they were averaging about 2 or 3 a month. that the drivers just seem completely unaware of what a guide dog is and were given the excuses that Jade has just outlined to you now. We fed that back to TfL, and they decided that they needed to raise awareness of it and educate every private hire vehicle office across London about it, which they did back a couple of months. Whether or not we'll see the effects of this, it doesn't sound like it at the moment, does it? But
what does that mean, educate every... what does that mean in English?
I think it was a pack full of information, posters, leaflets and guides to what assistance dogs are.